But that one-handed catch.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back as the San Francisco 49ers are right around the corner to being back on the clock for their second and final pick of the fourth round. They're actually having the very last pick in the fourth round. So we got a lot of stuff to get into. A couple of my guys have gone off the board. Teddy Buchanan goes to the Ravens. We saw David Walker go off the board as well. It's tough, man. It's tough when you see your draft crushes go. But again, happy for those guys who are able to live out their dreams. But now, who are the San Francisco 49ers going to take here? This is going to be an interesting selection because I do think they could go defensive end, or they could finally take a pick on the offensive side. When you look at some of the defensive ends that are available, I really like Tyler Barron. You have Ja Joyner as well. We had him on the channel. Ahmad Hassanin. These guys might go a little bit later, but it'll be very interesting to see if the 49ers finally go to the offensive side of the football here. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Drop what positions you think the San Francisco 49ers are going to draft right here. Alec Aomanor is still on the board. This is a John Lynch guy. John Lynch loves Alec. As you guys remember, I was able to cover the Stanford Pro Day, and John Lynch and Leonard Hankerson were all over that thing, checking out Alec Aomanor. You also have Nick Nash available too. So those could be two potential options here. Oh, no. And just like that, the Tennessee Titans snipe potentially the San Francisco 49ers taking Alec Aomanor right here. I'm wondering if this would have been that would have been the pick, but it's not going to be today. I was just talking about how John Lynch clearly loved this guy. Leonard Hankerson coaching him up at his pro day. They were all over it. So no Alec Aomanor here. He goes just a couple picks ahead of the San Francisco 49ers, get absolutely sniped. All right, so what does that mean? You still got Nick Nash available, Torrey Horton. Xavier Restrepo is still on the board. He obviously took a lot of heat for his 40 time, but he's an interesting one as a slot receiver. He kind of feels like he would be a good fit in that regard for the San Francisco 49ers, just a pure slot guy. But this might be the opportunity to go to offensive line right here. Logan Brown from Kansas, Cameron Williams from Texas. You got guys like Chase Lunt from Connecticut. Obviously, one of my guys is on the board in both Essa Pole and you have Jackson Slater still available. Marcus Embo is still here. Miles Frazier. Those are two names to be on the lookout for. Jackson Slater, like we talked about. This might be an O-line pick. Jake Majors is here. Willie Lampkin, Seth McLaughlin, Eli Cox. This could be an O-line spot. Could be a Jackson Hawes tight end spot. Jalen Conyers. Aronde Gadsden. All right, the 49ers are officially on the clock. Let's see. Is Jed York tweeting? What's Jed talking about? If he gives us a little Kyle Shanahan, Jed, tip it. What are we picking? I'm waiting for the Jed leak. They might be scrambling. They might be like, damn, we were about to take Ellick right there. All right. So 49ers are currently on the clock. It's going to be fascinating to see who they actually take right here. All right. This might be an O-line pick. I would like Tyler Barron here off the edge. I think that would be a good pick as well.
This 2025 NFL draft that has been all about why Shedeur Sanders is still on the draft board. And man, would I love to have that storyline end for everybody.
Cam Jackson, JJ Pegues. I don't think they're going to go defensive line again. They could.
There's still a lot of other top 100 players still sitting out there.
I don't know if they would, though. This might be the O-line pick. All right, what is the chat talking about?
Proudly representing Pets Nation from the beautiful city of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. And with the 137th pick, the New England Patriots select Joshua Farmer, defensive tackle, Florida State. Go back.
Joshua Farmer just goes to the Patriots.
Joshua Farmer, let's get to him.
Costume double. He was my 77th overall player. They just scooped him up with what are we at? 137. So
all right, no Jed York tweets yet. Jed isn't tipping yet, so let's see what we're going to get. Again, if you're just joining, let me see who some of you guys are talking about. I see some offensive line, Embo or Slater. That's kind of where I'm looking right now. I think you could probably push Esa Pole back a round or two. So I think you could wait for Esa in the 5th round if you want to go swing tackle. So I think right now might be a good pick to go potentially interior defensive tackle, or if they want to go and potentially maybe go target Logan Brown as a swing tackle. I like Esa Pole for the swing tackle role, and like I said, I think you can push him back a little bit. Or is this our running back pick? All right, the pick is officially in, ladies and gentlemen. It is on the ticker. The 49ers, since I think the 3rd round, have not had their picks tipped. So they have been announced at the podium, which has actually been kind of fun. There's no way that the 49ers would take Shedeur, right? I don't think they would. But maybe this is, I think, a potential offensive pick right here. Running back might be in consideration. Maybe offensive line. All right. We're about to find out who this is going to be. Oh, there we go. It's offense. Jed York just tweeted, let's change it up. It's offense. We're going offense, ladies and gentlemen. Are we going O-line or running back?
The San Francisco 49ers select Jordan Watkins,
Oh, the San Francisco 49ers select wide receiver Jordan Watkins had 9 touchdowns in 2024, which is the most in the SEC. 5'11", 196. Runs a 4.4. This makes me feel like they totally were potentially going to go with Alec Manor, and they got sniped. But this looks like a guy who has pretty solid route running abilities, has the ability to go up and get the ball, has some speed. This was Jackson Darts, one of his wide receivers. Looks pretty solid. So the 49ers go wide receiver here. Oh, I wonder. That makes me wonder. Were they eyeing up Alec right there, and they got snagged, and so they went with a different wide receiver instead. I think they got sniped. They and they were close. They were close to getting Alec. Close. But all right, so the 49ers switch it up and they go wide receiver, and they go with the SEC product. All right, how do we like this pick? Let me know in the chat what you guys are thinking about this one. I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched much of him, so I got a lot more work to do on him. I don't really have a strong impression right out the gate. I was big on his teammate for sure. But I can't stop thinking about how I think the 49ers definitely got sniped trying to take Alec Manor right here. So the 49ers have selected Ole Miss wide receiver. Was it Jordan Watkins? So Jordan Watkins definitely has some speed, that's for sure. We're gonna tap into his production here right after I get this posted up.
When I came back from the war, I became a homeless veteran. I was barely hanging on by the one thing that was constant for me.
All right, so let's take a look a little bit deeper into Jordan Watkins, the 49ers' newest wide receiver. Watkins, 5'11", 196 pounds. He had 49 receptions for 906 yards last year with 9 touchdowns. As we mentioned, 9 touchdowns led the SEC. He averaged 18.5 yards a carry. So bit of a sleeper pick for sure. He is a 5th-year senior. Looks like he started out his career in Louisville in 2020. He's produced decently throughout his last 4 years in college. In 2021 in Louisville, he had 35 receptions, 529 yards for 4 touchdowns. And then he transferred to Ole Miss in 2022, where he had 40 receptions, 449 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then in 2023, he took a bit of a jump with 53 receptions, 741 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And then had his big year with Jackson Dart in 2024 with the 49 receptions, 906 receiving yards, and 9 touchdowns. So, decently good producer. Again, he ranked in the 90th percentile with his 40 time, officially clocking a 4.37. Oh boy, we got a trade. The Seattle Seahawks just traded quarterback Sam Howell to the Vikings. Wow. Trade alert. The 49ers, or not the 49ers, the Seattle Seahawks trading their quarterback Sam Howell to the Vikings. We saw that they drafted a quarterback in Jalen Milroe. All right, so back to Watkins. Again, he 90th percentile and 40 with a 4.37. His vertical was 36.5. And he had a 10-yard split of 1.53, which was 74th percentile in this draft. Let's see. So he wasn't ranked. It doesn't look like he was ranked by the NFL. This is definitely a player that looks like was considered to be a undrafted player. From what I am seeing. Again, like I said, I didn't watch him, so I don't have a huge situation to be able to pull from in regards to reference. But in doing a little bit of research, it does seem like he wasn't. I don't. Is he even listed in the NFL's database? Interesting. I don't think he is even in the NFL's database.
He is the first pick of the 5th round.
Georgia defensive player, you know, there's a bunch of them, and it's been like that for a long time. Inside, outside. Look, last year he could have gone in the portal and got a.
So let's see.
Stay at Georgia, wanted to stay with his guys, and ended up, you know, also.
But he looks like a player just from some of the highlights that I've seen.
Showed that versatility as we look at big Cam Jackson, a monster defensive tackle from Florida. Big DTs in the SEC, Charles. I mean, that was he's played
a lot of snaps, nearly 3,000 snaps. So he's got a lot of experience. Got a lot of experience, decent production, over 2,600 receiving yards and 18 touchdowns over his career.
I guess I need to be a little careful here. There's been so many trades all over the map. This is a Ravens next selection. Let's get that to the stage. How we going, Green Bay?
KB says there's no way we are about to give Purdy $60 million, and he's still running for his life like Tom Cruise movie. We need to address the O-line. Yeah, I mean, I've said it pretty consistently throughout this process. Just because you draft an offensive lineman doesn't mean they're going to start. One of the hardest positions to transition from college to the NFL is the O-line. I've said it from the beginning. This is not a good offensive line class, especially if you're looking for day one plug-and-play starters. If you're going to go look for plug-and-play starters, you would have to draft those guys early. Anyone that you're drafting right now is going to be a depth guy. So
the Seattle Seahawks just traded into this final pick for the Vikings in the draft. So the Vikings moved down to 172, and the Seahawks moved up to 142.
There's logic that I had of taking only one offensive lineman in my last mock draft that I did. So
And so Sam Howell goes to where Sam Darnold came from. So Seattle can then move up.
I'm definitely excited to jump more into the tape
To get a more veteran presence in-house for them to
and learn a little bit more about this pick.
There was tons of talk about potentially Kirk Cousins wind up back there again. If something happens with Cousins in Atlanta, would the Vikings even be interested? What will they do? Because they've given J.J. McCarthy all the opportunity to take this job. So Sam Howell,
But we do need a swing tackle for sure. I looked for Jed's tweet. I didn't see anything.
This is a trade that has been discussed between the two parties for a couple weeks now.
I'd be surprised if he tweeted again. Even with 3 D linemen,
For Sam Howell, certainly someone the Vikings have been interested in. As far as you mentioned the Kirk Cousins part of it, I would be very surprised right now if there was a return to Minnesota, especially because they have now secured a veteran backup for J.J. McCarthy.
All right, so these are
I don't get it.
parts of the intrigue in the draft rooms in this draft hall, and then obviously with a quarterback carousel spinning. So who did Seattle move all the way up to go get? We're about to get that mystery revealed.
I don't get Jed's recent tweet.
From Germany, I'm Omari Williams, defensive back for Ryan Fire.
Why not Nick Nash from SJSU? He was still available. I think they wanted the speed. I think that's really what stands out to me is they went for the speed that Jordan Watkins offers. I mean, he's a 4.37 guy. He does look like he has ability to be a good route runner. He's pretty shifty. Has the ability to separate. So this is what Jed tweeted. He said, even with 3 D linemen, if he added JCU football, which is John Carroll football standout, Joel Indriolo is still on the board. Have to take him today. His upside has been waiting to emerge for the past 22 drafts. #destiny. I don't know what the hell that means. I have no idea what that means. Not a single clue of what he's talking about. But we'll see. The 49ers aren't that far away from being back on the clock. Yeah, so I got no idea what I had no idea what Jed's talking about. Not a clue, Jed. Not a clue. Maybe there's a tweet in there somewhere. Is or a hint in there somewhere? Is John Carroll? Jordan Phillips just went off the board to the Miami Dolphins. Is John Carroll University at FCS school?
Transfer from Tennessee to Maryland and provides a load inside.
Go to the Browns straight up for 90 seconds left for them.
I'm not really sure.
And the Eagles, Patriots, and Niners here in Green Bay.
You might know Harbor Freight for affordability. What you might not know is performance and durability go right along with it. You see, we test, and then we test again. World-class engineering and rigorous testing to ensure our tools perform at the highest level and stand the test of time without testing your wallet. Now, it's time for you to put us to the test. Whatever you do
I would like Tyler Barron here.
Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is on the
Real vodka.
refreshing. Goes down. But it's nice.
All right, where are we going here? 49ers on the clock here very soon. Is this the O-line pick? But he looks like a player just from some of the highlights that I've seen.
Using apartmental intelligence for many years with Carl here. Describe your perfect apartment because Carl is listening. Two bed, AC. Okay.
Oh, wow. Did it happen? Shedeur Sanders has finally been drafted. Wow. Shedeur Sanders to the Browns. The wait is over. One of the most monumental slides in a while. The Browns trade up and they go and get Shedeur Sanders, one of the biggest stories in the NFL draft so far. So Shedeur Sanders finally has a home. Wow, what a crazy situation for a player who was projected to be a first-round draft pick, who slid almost into the 6th round. So that's crazy. But I'm glad, honestly, it was getting kind of sad there for him. Wow, that's interesting. I forgot that the Browns also took Dylan Gabriel. That's so weird, dude. They took Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders in the same draft, but they took Dylan Gabriel multiple rounds ahead. That is such a interesting dynamic. The Browns quarterbacks right now: Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel. That's a weird quarterback room. That is a very weird quarterback room.
With a really good backbone, really good culture. The Cleveland Browns just traded over the Eagles. Browns do this, thinking the Eagles would take Shedeur, and just maybe.
I don't know, man. This is crazy.
I mean, that would be something. And that's the only way I would.
But hey, good for Shedeur. The wait is over. Could you imagine? Rome said he'll pull the Eli Manning. Could you imagine if Shedeur finally got drafted and he said, "I'm not going to the Browns"? No, that would be nuts. But the San Francisco 49ers are right around the corner from being back on the clock for their 5th round draft selection. You have Philadelphia, New England, and then the San Francisco 49ers. So who are the 49ers going to take? Now this is starting to feel like offensive line right here. It's starting to feel like O-line, swing tackle, maybe center.
The Seattle Seahawks have traded the 144th pick to the Cleveland Browns.
They're announcing the Shedeur Sanders pick right now.
2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, Colorado.
Crazy.
The reaction in the draft hall says it all.
Big reaction.
I'm putting every human on the screen. Every single person who's been watching our draft coverage, anyone else's. We appreciate your viewership. Shedeur Sanders just went, but he went to the team that could have had him 6 times over chose not to, including drafting another quarterback. Let's give Shador his moment. Go for it.
Yeah, let's get to the film. I feel like we've talked about everything but the tape for so long now. Let's get to what Shador Sanders is on the ground.
All right.
Point guard style.
49ers are up. What position are they going to go here? Are you thinking that the 49ers stay on the offensive side of the football, maybe a tight end potentially, but it does feel like swing tackle range.
This was the negative side of it. It was the drifting out of pockets. It was taking bad sacks at inopportune times. The thing to me was just playing faster. He just got to speed up his clock.
Someone said long snapper. I don't think so.
When he's got everything lined up,
Center.
the ground, he is a very accurate thrower. It isn't playing faster, kind of the norm than we say for college quarterbacks, because things are going to go faster in the league to begin with. So things that you can get out of in college, because you always think your athleticism is going to beat most of the defenses, and it usually does. You have to change that. But Rich,
Running back, maybe.
How many different times Cleveland passed on him?
Maybe running back.
Cleveland had him ranked, and now they got him in that spot. I understand all this, but here's the best part for him.
Miles Frazier.
There's no one there that he can't compete against. This is still an opportunity for him to be.
I mean, keep in mind the 49ers have another pick.
But it's not one that's so daunting that Shador Sanders, who was a borderline.
They're back on the clock in 13 picks, so keep that in mind. So they're going to be back on the clock here pretty soon. Last pick was a wide receiver in Jordan Watkins.
Because we have been saying for 2 straight days now, it's not when you go, it's what you do when you go. I mean, Max Crosby even tweeted that out at the top of the 4th round because he was a 4th round pick when he came in.
All right, so let's see what we're going to get here for the San Francisco 49ers. Got a couple picks in back-to-back sequences.
How does that conversation go when you call? You know what I mean?
I thought the exact same thing.
How does that go?
I'll tell you exactly.
Well, first of all, the first thing is Shador had to verify whether it was real because I saw that video, which is insane that somebody would ever do such a thing to anybody. Forget about who it is. But outside of that, how does that conversation go? Like, we're going to give you a shot.
All right.
Now, however you want to say a message has been sent or received, or whether it deserved to be sent or needed to be received, however you want to put it, he is now in a position of joining a team that not only drafted a quarterback, but one ahead of him.
No, we are not drafting a kicker.
And could have had
You can forget it. Not going to happen.
To get a draft choice in next year's draft, presumably because there's a better quarterback draft class next year. I give you the floor on that.
This is how this phone call goes. First of all, congratulations! You just got drafted in National Football League. That's a special moment. So enjoy that. I know you're frustrated that you fell this far. The next thing I would say is, I know you're a competitor. You know you're a competitor. Well, this is the biggest competition.
All right, the San Francisco 49ers are officially on the clock, as Jed tweeted. Has Jed tweeted anything yet? Check Jed watch. We're out here watching Jed York's Twitter now.
For some of the criticism of Shador, and some of it is, well, everything's been handed to him, and it's been kind of controlled in the path that's been laid out by Dion. He's coming into one of the most crowded quarterback rooms in the NFL as a 5th-round pick. He is going to have to earn everything. So that competitive nature, your dad's one of the most competitive people that's ever.
All right, who's it going to be? Drop your predictions in the chat. To me, it does feel like it would make sense to go, like we keep saying, offensive line here. This is swing tackle territory. Oh, is this a running back? Are we going running back? If a future Hall of Fame running back likes you, seems good enough for me. All right, that sounds like a running back. Is this Jadon Blue?
Now that that's in front of you, are you going to continue to say,
Man, Jed's out here tipping picks, man. It's crazy. So clearly seems like we're going running back with this selection. So what running back are the 49ers going to take here? And again, the 49ers have not been tipping their picks, so they're being announced. All right, let's see who's available. Running back, status, undrafted.
I get it. Frustrating. So I want to give you up to 2 days left. But now's the chance to get up and go. I've been there. It's not fun, but you got a choice to make. Battle or not. I think he's going to battle.
Well, in case anybody's wondering how often we see a draft where
All right, let's see who is the pick going to be.
it happened last year. The Patriots chose Drake May 3rd overall, then later on chose the current backup quarterback.
Jordan James, Oregon. Jaden Blue, Texas. LaQuint Allen. Oh, is this Damian Martinez? Oh, if this is Damian Martinez, I'm going to be so hyped. Rashad Smith, Raheem Sanders, Ollie Gordon, Devin Neal. There's some good running backs here. Taj Brooks. I kind of want Damian Martinez. Out of those guys that we just talked about, I think the two names that I want are Jaden Blue and Damian Martinez. Honorable mentions, Devin Neal, Raheem Sanders, Rashad Smith. Ooh. Are we going Damian Martinez here? All right, the pick is in. All right, the pick is in. We've heard enough about Shedeur. Tell us who we're picking.
Watson needs one of those rascals to get around right now. And so bottom line is what happens now?
Damian Martinez would be a Jordan Mason type replacement, I feel. Oh, the pick is in. The San Francisco 49ers select Jordan James. The 49ers have been tied to Jordan James throughout this process. They go out and get the Oregon running back, Jordan James, little jitterbug. All right, 49ers go out, get a guy with some speed. We get some speed here.
Everything else is now completely up for grabs. You want to take a look at this draft? Let's do it. Dylan Gabriel.
So Jordan James, decent size too, 5'10", 205 pounds, had over 1,200 rushing yards, 1,267 to be exact. He had 15 rushing touchdowns last year, 26 receptions for 209 yards. Big time producer for the Oregon Ducks, and definitely fits the type of running backs that 49ers like to acquire. Actually, not as fast as I thought. He actually clocked a 4.5540, which actually wouldn't be considered that fast for a running back. Measurables wise, not super impressive, but he does have a ton of production. Have selected Jordan.
Because exactly what you're saying, Dylan Gabriel, that's who he is. That's what he's about.
Oregon running back
UCF, Oklahoma, Oregon,
Jordan
really high level, adapted, changed, learned
James.
learned schools, all these things. I would run there if I'm Shador Sanders. I'd have my dukes up and we're gonna fight.
All right, how are we feeling about this selection?
Along the way, there's been days when I've gone and been in the fetal position and turned down the shades, and I gotta find a way to come back. Either you find a way back, or it consumes you. And that's where he is right now. I think he's going to find his way back and go out there and fight. I don't doubt that at all. That's why I pounded the table for him.
Tons of production from this kid. This does feel like a Jordan Mason replacement for sure. I mean, great production last year. Absolutely phenomenal. The Athletic had him ranked as their 77th best prospect. Todd McShay had him ranked as his 82nd best prospect. Pro Football Network had him ranked as the 86th best prospect. Sports Illustrated had him ranked as the 92nd best prospect. DraftNet at 94, ESPN at 97, Draft Buzz at 116, NFL.com at 127. So according to all these rankings, 49ers got a little bit of a steal here. Here's a write-up on him. The 5'10", 210-pound junior made efficient use of limited opportunities early in his career, particularly impressing as a sophomore when he led the Pac-12 with a stellar 7.09 yards per carry while scoring 11 touchdowns on just 107 attempts. His patience paid off in 2024 when he seized the feature role back, displaying the same efficiency, 7.1 yards per carry that defined his earlier work, but with significantly increased volumes. Perhaps most impressively, James accomplished this production without significant tread wear, entering the draft with just 363 career carries over 3 seasons. So, big-time producer last season, but that really was his only season of getting significant touches. So 49ers go wide receiver and running back in the 5th round. And so the 49ers have one more pick left. I want to pull up some clips. I want to watch this guy. I haven't watched too much of him, so let's take a look. Oh, yeah, I can see why Frank Gore likes him a lot. Oh, yeah. This is a Frank Gore running back. Oh, yeah, this is a Frank Gore running back. This dude knows how to find a running lane when one doesn't exist. That's kind of what reminds me of Frank is, Frank wasn't the fastest running back, right? But he would always find running lanes, right? Always find the crease, always be able to set up his block to be able to cut back. The first thing that stands out to me right away is his ability to jump cut, his ability to find the lane, his ability to get north-south. Yeah, he might not be the fastest running back, but he has phenomenal vision. And again, when you think of Frank Gore's running style, it was the ability to turn nothing into like 5 to 6 yards, right? Frank Gore would hit to the line of scrimmage, right? And there really wouldn't be anything. And then he makes one jump cut, makes one guy miss, finds a crease. That's really what this guy looks like. I'm not saying he's Frank Gore, but oh, he's got some power too. All right. Yeah, this is the Jordan Mason replacement right here. That's what this is. 49ers replace Jordan Mason with Jordan James. So they go Jordan for Jordan here. So, all right, I'm excited to get into some of these prospects. Again, I don't know a lot. I don't know Jordan Watkins. 2 Jordans in a row, by the way. I don't know Jordan Watkins that well, and I don't know Jordan James that well. But just in looking at both of them, all right. Jordan James looks like a twitchier Jordan Mason.
Well, I want to know how you're going to orchestrate. I mean, Dylan Gabriel was a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah, dude, this guy's legs do not stop.
He's 40 years old. He's back in Audubon, New Jersey right now. Watching this whole thing unfold. I thought as soon as
All right, so this is what I'm gathering from this player. Vision looks like it's absolutely there. And his ability to jump cut, get side to side, then north south looks phenomenal. He has this ability to sidestep and then take and get north south in a hurry. So he has the opportunity to also find running lanes and create running lanes with that ability. That's one of the things that I liked right away. I see power. I see a lot of power. I see a guy who is not going to go down with arm tackles. He is going to lower his shoulder. He's going to run through guys. So this, I'm not saying, like I said, he's Frank Gore, but he has some of those traits. And ultra productive. This guy will be a great complement to Christian McCaffrey and Isaac Guerrero. So, all right. I'm seeing it. I see it. I'm seeing the vision. Again, that's what it's about, right? Can you see the vision? Can you see how the fit would potentially play out with the San Francisco 49ers and how that would ultimately work? And I'm seeing what the fit is. He is going to be a guy who fills that Jordan Mason role. And he actually looks like he's a little bit more twitchy than Jordan Mason was. Network had him ranked for a running back touchdowns last 1,206.
I think this is a perfect thing. This system is ran all the pick is in the San Francisco 49ers.
All right. Are they still talking about Shedeur?
And the reason I say the Dolphins, think of what Tua talking about.
Damian Martinez be a Jordan Mason.
Timing.
Are they still talking about Shedeur right now?
He gets the ball out quick. You're going to have a
My goodness.
To me, if you can just be a point guard, and we saw what DJ put on there as a point guard,
So let's see. The 49ers looks like they'll be on the clock less than 10 minutes away. And so now does this become the offensive line pick? Or did the 49ers go back to the defensive line? What do you think the 49ers are going to do here with this next pick? I would assume that a lot of 49er fans are going to be wanting to see some offensive line at this spot. Tight end. I could see a tight end. Jackson Hawes, maybe. Jalen Conyers.
All right, Browns fans, fired up. They get not one, but two rookie quarterbacks to come in there and try to get this Browns franchise back to the postseason. Quarterback.
All right.
Don't give up. You stand your ground. If you've been diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer, try to ask your doctor.
I think we got a pretty solid running back room, though. I'm not going to lie. Because he's different than Isaac Guerrero and Christian McCaffrey, for sure.
Talk to your doctor about ways to reduce the risk of exposing others to radiation during and after treatment. Pluvicto can cause low levels of blood cell counts, kidney problems, and infertility. Tell your doctor if you have weakness, pale skin, shortness of breath, bleeding, bruising more easily, an infection, or changes in urination. Side effects include decreased blood cell counts, tiredness, dry mouth, nausea, appetite loss, joint or back pain, and constipation. Ask your doctor about Pluvicto, because every day without cancer progression is a victory.
Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser vodka iced tea. Made with real iced tea, real vodka, refreshing, goes down smooth. Let the good times
All right.
Sun Cruiser.
49ers newest running back, Jordan James.
The stage electric. Quarterbacks were defined as rivalry Super Bowl rematch with each. So what? Welcome back.
All right, I see the vision. I definitely see the vision. I would like Essa. This would be a good spot to go Essa Pole, because I'm pretty sure that the San Francisco 49ers don't have a pick until the 7th round.
The whole cliche of they're so lucky to have you guys, and it's
Um,
the other way around. They have changed our family for the better. They chose to love us. They didn't have to. They chose us. Them. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward.
Let me see. What is the 49ers remaining draft picks? 49ers total draft picks here.
Provide help and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org/NFL today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
Game 3 of the 2025 NFL Draft continues, and that's a lot of cheddar right there. You know, ice sculpting, we've got sandcastle building, but that is a cheese.
Get out of here.
I suppose.
All right, so we got 160. Yeah, so we got 160, and then the 49ers aren't back on the clock until 127. So, yeah. Oh, and there goes Marcus Embo right there. So this might have to be the swing tackle right here. So they got 160 coming up, and their next pick isn't until 227, and then they got 249 and 252. So they still got 4 draft picks left. But as we know, the offensive line, it gets real thin around this spot. So a couple prospects still available that I like on the O-line. Jake Majors, Slater, and Esapole. I feel like the bigger need is swing tackle. I feel like they need to replace Jalen Moore. And I wonder if they would try to hold it out on maybe a guy like Slater potentially later. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be – I don't feel like they're going to do what we expect them to do, however. They're going to go in a different direction than what we think they should do. Let's see who else is on the board here. Let's go BPA here. I'll pull up the available prospects that are currently left. JJ Pegues. It's showing Miles Frazier is still available. Chris Paul's still there. Dorian Strong, Jeffrey Bossa still there. Could they go tight end potentially? Maybe do that here. Mitchell Evans. Aeneas Peebles is still on the board. Ooh. That would be an interesting pick to go Aeneas Peebles. Jake Majors, Tyler Barron is still there. Tyler Barron would be an interesting pick. There's still some decent prospects on the board here. So they might be able to push Slater and Esapole back to the 7th. Just based on this board, how it's playing out. Because here's Slater on page 5, I think he is. Elijah Roberts. Xavier Restrepo still out there.
Especially when you have a young quarterback, a tight end that can move allows him to have what we call a catch radius, right? Ability to miss some throws, and this guy can go and make him, right?
Again, the Bears are starting to build this thing up, and it started last year, right? With all the picks and all the things. But you get this kid.
I don't know, man. I don't know where they're going to go with this one. I think they go back to the trenches, though. I think that would be the ideal scenarios. You go trenches here, O-line, D-line. Don't really have that big of a preference. I do know they need a swing tackle, and they need to address that somewhat soon, obviously. So the 49ers, we got the Chiefs pick in, then it's Tampa Bay, Chargers, Green Bay, and then the 49ers are on the clock. So it does feel like this will be a trench pick. So trench is here. I think you got to go back and keep building the trenches up. I could do more defensive line depth. I could do O-line depth. I could do interior. I could do swing. I could do a bunch of those. So it'll be interesting to see what the 49ers land on. All right. Did Bossa go to the Chiefs? Dude, the Chiefs are having a great draft. I can't stand it. The Chiefs are having a phenomenal draft. There's a lot of teams that are honestly killing the draft, man. They're doing a really good job. I think the Bills have done a really good job. I have to go through and look. I feel like the Titans have done solid. Wow. The Bucks got Elijah Roberts here. Giants have been doing a good job. Philly doing good. I think the Panthers have had a pretty decent draft as well. Texans have had a pretty decent draft. Bucks have had a really good draft. I think even a couple teams in division. I think Arizona, Seattle, and the Rams all have done pretty solid in their draft so as well. The Ravens have done really good. The Ravens got Mike Green and Teddy Buchanan. Like, what the heck, man? Patriots have had a really good draft. The Raiders have had a good draft. There's a lot of teams who have had solid drafts, man. That's what I'm saying. There's been a lot. Like it's typically not that way, but because this draft is so deep, it's such a weird draft that if you hit on your first pick and then you get some, guys who slide out, it's pretty solid. How are we doing? I think we're having a good draft. I think we're having a really good draft. I don't know if I would call it a great draft, but I would call it a really good draft. I feel like the San Francisco 49ers have been able to fill a lot of holes that they've had to. Again, you look at the first two picks. The first two picks were great with Michael and Alfred. And then you go get Nick Martin, and then you get Upton Stout. I think those were good picks as well. And then adding CJ West, that core group of defensive guys, I think is pretty solid. The Jordan Watkins pick, that one's gonna have to grow on me a little bit. That one feels like I would say the biggest reach out of anyone so far. The Jordan James pick looks solid. I like that pick. I gotta watch more of these guys, but and just the traits pool, kind of seeing what Jordan James is going to bring to the table. He looks like a twitchier Jordan Mason. So I would say we've had a really good draft. I wouldn't say it's great. Now we could look back 3 years from now and say this was a great draft for sure. I would say the 49ers feel like they attack the draft. It doesn't feel like they let the draft to really fall to them. They kind of go and get who they want. They don't really wait. So that has been one of the like bigger observations of like, let's say the last couple days is, oh, we got a Jed York tweet. Safety to safety. All right. So we got Jed York tweeting that we're going after safety here. So who are they going here? Jalen Reed out of Penn State, RJ Mickens out of Clemson. I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I don't know a bunch of these safeties. I didn't do much safety work this offseason, so that one's going to be an interesting one. So what safety are we going to get? Shiloh Sanders. We gonna bring a Sanders to the team? Sebastian Castro. Honestly, I don't really know who the 49ers are going to go here. I've mocked Keaton Crawford to the San Francisco 49ers before because he is very
Businesses perform better when they put people first.
6'8" cone, 403 short shuttle, 18 reps.
Your dedicated Cintas service rep will make sure your team has the essential products they need when they need them.
I thought,
From hygiene
and he's
supplies
like a
and
special
cleaning floor
teams
mats
ace.
to microfiber mops, wipes, and towels. Cintas can help.
Would they go Keaton Crawford here? Again, he would fill a need on special teams, and he's fast. But I don't know. Who are we going with here? Apparently, it's going to be safety.
Having a great day watching day 3 of the draft. It's a pleasure to announce.
All right, the Packers are about to announce their pick.
With the 159th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Colin Oliver, defensive end, Oklahoma State.
All right, the Green Bay Packers go linebacker Colin Oliver out of Oklahoma State, so Nick Martin's teammate. Which means the San Francisco 49ers, they have been on the clock for a while. And this is the pick that they got for Jordan Mason. So coincidentally enough, the pick before, they got their Jordan Mason replacement. Now they are on the clock, and it does appear that they are going to go safety based on Jed York's tweet, unless he's throwing a curveball. So if it's going to be O-line, it's going to have to come in the 7th round. Doesn't look like it's going to be here. Unless we're getting some kind of, I don't know, though. Let's see. Let's see. All right, the pick is in. The pick is in. Now we're just waiting for it to be announced. Who is it going to be? This is your last chance. Throw those names in. Who are the 49ers going to take here? Who's it going? Was it really Shiloh Sanders? Who's the pick? Why is everyone saying, what's the pick?
Monday on the Insiders, we'll have all the news from around the NFL, plus live team
Oh,
and expert analysis.
Marquise Siegel, Kansas State. All right. The 49ers grab a 5'11", 190-pound, 99-pound safety out of Kansas State. He led the team with 3 interceptions in 2024, which was also a career high. Marquise Siegel. He had 174 tackles over his career. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot of tackles. That's a lot of production right there. All right, let me get this posted, and then we will do a deep dive into learning a little bit more about the 49ers' newest safety. All right, what's the instant reaction to this pick? What are we thinking here? Does anyone have any insight on this pick? He looks fast. Oh, he's very fast. Oh, he's a 4.37 guy. Whew. All right, so he went to the East-West Shrine Bowl. So that's probably where he got onto the 49ers radar. Was at the East-West Shrine Bowl. He's fast. 4.37 speed.
And there was a long national conversation in the sports world and outside of the sports world about why Shador dropped so long and whose fault it was.
So that's pretty impressive speed right there.
Lessons were being taught or lessons needed to be learned, and yada, yada, yada. And here we are now back live at Green Bay, middle of the 5th round. Rich Eisen, Charles Davis,
all right,
back together again.
I don't know much about the pick, so really hard for me to give a ton of analysis on it.
That's all we've been talking about over the last 20 minutes.
But once I get this posted, we'll dive in a little bit more. 49ers have selected
drafted as the second rookie in the draft class for the Cleveland Browns.
Kansas State
Assuming that Kenny Pickett trying to get another starting opportunity in this division.
safety Marquise Siegel.
Is going to be able to help nurture whoever comes out of this thing with the three young guys. And I would put Kenny Pickett in that young veteran and say we're going to let these guys kind of duke it out and see who we're going to run out there, knowing that we've got Joe Flacco in that two hole, and Joe Flacco at his age and experience level isn't going to require those number of reps. You hit it, CD. The guy came off the couch and took him to the playoffs. So to me, I think that's at least early on, and then they can identify what do we have with some of these young guys and who do we want to try and work with from there. It's going to have to get whittled down again, but it's competition, man. It's just the way.
All right, let's dive in a little bit more.
That's where it's going to start. And I think the competition starts as soon as they get there. I don't think it's one of those things, Rich, where we're waiting till July, August, and we're at training camp, and now the reps start to count, everything starts to count. I realize it's going to be against air. I realize there's still going to be no pads.
So 3 interceptions last year, led the team. 3 passes defensed. He had 60 tackles. 38 of those are solo. 5'11", 199 pounds. This is where I think this stands out. He is ranked highly in measurables. He is 97th percentile in speed with a 4.37 40. He is 90th percentile in his 10-yard split at a 1.50. He's 80th percentile in vertical with 38-inch vert, and his broad jump was 130 inches, and that is 94th percentile. So he isn't the biggest guy, but he is one of the most explosive defensive backs in this class. So an interesting pick. Again, I don't know much about him, but again, by most of the rankings, NFL had him ranked as 241, which is late 7th. PFF had him ranked as 298, which is undrafted, and Draft Buzz had him as 325, so that is also undrafted. I think both these picks. I think of the Jordan Watkins pick and this pick. Both feel like, again, they're going to be perceived as reaches in regards to how they are viewed in the rankings. But there's a lot of speed here. So clearly they saw something at the Shrine Bowl that they liked. And, maybe they unearth a bit of a gem here. We'll have to see about that. But again, like I said, it wasn't regarded as a big time prospect, but he is fast. He is definitely an explosive athlete. And so I think what you see here is he's been decently productive as well. Oh, I see he had a big blocked kick. He's going to be a special teams guy with upside to be able to make an impact as a safety. But he looks like a great athlete.
Someone with outstanding range, big-time blitzer. You'll see him mirror the quarterback and then just find his way into throwing lanes, gets his hands on the football and coverage.
Ooh.
Someone in space, you see guys who will come to balance.
He had a forced fumble at the Shrine Bowl on a tight end.
People talk about being an edge. I like him more in the middle there, DJ, myself. I like him being in the middle, being rangy. I think that's a good pick for them.
All right, so we're going to take a break. We'll be back to Green Bay as the Steelers' latest pick is in. First Steelers pick of this draft from this set where we're not wondering if they're taking Shedeur Sanders.
He's an athlete, though. That's the thing that stands out to me right away is that he's an athlete. Yeah, I mean, he kind of looks like a cornerback. But they have him listed as safety. I'm interested to get into this guy. I'm not. Yeah, it definitely feels like a reach for sure. But I'm interested to get into him a little bit more. He seems like an intriguing prospect. Definitely don't love it in the fifth. But he has a very, very good athletic profile. He's very fast. And he's a smooth athlete. And he looks like he's gonna come down and he's gonna tackle you. He's not afraid of tackling. And the 49ers have had a pretty decent track record with safeties. So, hey, again, definitely feels like a reach. But again, it's hard for us to say on the outside looking in because we don't have the information. We don't have the access. And we haven't done as much work as these guys who are literally doing this for their job. So what I do see is the athletic profile is crazy. He's very fast. He's very fast, very explosive, and looks like he definitely has some immediate value on special teams. And so, hey, we'll see how it plays out, baby. We'll see how it plays out. I don't know much about him. I haven't watched him. So I'm going to be doing a lot of film breakdown so I can figure out what the 49ers are cooking up over here. All right, so that is it for the 49ers until the 7th round. How are we feeling about this, guys? Let's recap some of the picks that have been made today. I think the 49ers started out strong with the selection of Indiana defensive tackle CJ West. I thought that was a good pick. That was a great pick. The Ole Miss wide receiver Jordan Watkins. That one's gonna have to grow on me a little bit more. I gotta do some more research on him. But I see some of the traits he has. The Jordan James pick, I actually like. I think that he immediately replaces Jordan Mason, and he looks like a similar style of Jordan Mason, just a little twitchier. And it looks like he might have even a little bit better vision as well. So I don't mind the Jordan James pick. I think that's a good pick. And I'm fine with the value there. And then with the 49ers rounding out the 5th round with Marquise Siegel, I'm intrigued. It feels like a reach right now, but I'm intrigued by the pick. I'm very intrigued by it. He's very explosive. It clearly looks like one of the more explosive defensive backs in this class. So I'm interested to see what the tape bears. He also looks like he was pretty productive as well in college. Again, these outlets have him kind of projected as an undrafted free agent. But he had 2 seasons, it looks like, as a starter at Kansas State. He had over 60 tackles in both those seasons. 7 career interceptions, two touchdowns.
Line help certainly in the middle, and they've addressed it twice. Their first pick, Derek Harmon, and the one they just chose.
Yeah,
right now
they chose size and guys that can really play against the run. So to me, that was the area they were looking to address, and they did it. There was another pick that just came
all right.
By the way, I was looking at Smell Mondon. Where did he end up?
We'll see. We'll see what he brings to the table, but no offensive line. How are you guys feeling about the 49ers not drafting an offensive line? As it currently stands right now. I think the 49ers might be trying to snag an O lineman in this. I would assume the O lineman picks are coming in the 7th. Again, this wasn't a great class for offensive linemen. But let's see. If you were to grade the 49ers draft up until this point, when you look at all the picks that they have had, what would you grade the San Francisco 49ers draft up until now? Drop your grades in the chat. I want to see what you guys are thinking about with this one. I think now that we've gotten this far into the draft, I think the grades are going to be pretty. They might be all over the place. I see some B. You guys are a little bit more aligned than I thought. Does feel like I see a lot of B minus, B plus. I see some A minuses, C plus, C, B minus, B plus. See some A's. Honestly, without knowing too much about the Ole Miss wide receiver and this the newest safety. I don't know. I'm hearing good things about this guy, though. This Sigel guy might just have flown under the radar. This would Sigel probably would have been a guy that the 49ers wanted to target in the 6th round, but they don't have a 6th round draft pick.
Those are going to be receiving guys. They're not going to be guys you're going to be utilizing much in the run game.
Well, we're about to get the latest Eagles pick, right? Is that what we got right now? Because I mean, there were so many trades flying. It's tough.
So yeah, we're gonna see here. I definitely love what the 49ers have done on the defensive side. I like.
There we go. They invest in the line of scrimmage constantly. They've done it on the defensive side. They're always
Titans took Jackson Slater. Oh my gosh! No way.
There's times you'll see the foot quickness. It's tugged and pulled a little bit, so that's going to be the area you're trying to work on, and Coach Stout will work on trying to get him to play a little more firm upper body. I
knew it was going to be a hard task. I knew it was going to be a hard task to let Jackson Slater slide all the way to the 7th. Didn't think it was going to happen. And there we go. I'm a Titans fan now. Tighten up, baby. Oladejo, Slater, Cam Ward, Schlesinger. Tighten up, baby. Let's go. Titans, man.
Comes out if you come off the traffic. You know? All right, so that is, as you can see,
Taking all my boys.
Will be joining us. He's always so kind to take a moment out of a draft like to join us on Steelers Camp. That's still to come right here on
Taking all my boys. Oh man.
The 2025 NFL Draft is presented by Verizon. The NFL, powered by Verizon 5G.
Verizon Small Business Days are back. Our experts, closer than you think. That's great. Nice surprise, huh? 219. Ready to help.
All right, so
wherever you are. Even on the job.
Hey, hi.
Making sure all your tech.
Let's take a look.
going to be an interesting 7th round, that's for sure.
I like to sleep cool. And I like to sleep even cooler. And I really like it. We both get what we want. Meet the Sleep Number Climate Cool Smart Bed. Sleep up to 15 degrees cooler on each side.
I think the 49ers got sniped a couple times, man.
So no matter what you're working on, you can save big on all your spring projects. Now through May 7th, shop spring deals of $20 at the Home Depot. So why can't we say we're the best home shopping site?
Oh, all my boys found homes in different cities. It's one of the drawbacks of loving the draft, right? And having draft crush. It's one of my favorite things, right? I love coming across guys that you gravitate to. You're like, I just really appreciate this player. I appreciate how they play. I like their style, all of that stuff. And you root for them along the process, and you hope your team's going to take them. And when they do take them, it's way more rare that the 49ers take guys that I like. I feel like our division opponents take more of the prospects that I like than the 49ers do. There obviously have been instances where the 49ers take the prospects I like. Like last year, Renardo Green was one of my draft crushes that they took. They've taken George Kittle. They've taken a bunch of guys that I've liked. But I feel like a ton of the guys that I like end up going in our division. For whatever reason, I don't know why it plays out like that, but it's just how it goes. Oh, man.
And then, of course, as you know, this is the Super Bowl for every social media team in the National Football League. They're already, no doubt, cultivating their capers. Chargers still hold the crown. They're up there. The Titans are pretty darn good. The Titans have a tradition, of asking about the people on the street. Tradition is strong. It is strong.
I'm a Denver Broncos fan and a Titans fan.
Certainly one of the highlights of day 3 of the draft.
All right, so this is what's going to go down. I actually have to head to the airport at around 3. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to be live for the 7th round draft picks. Maybe if I get to the airport, I doubt I will in time. So I'm going to be heading out. I'll do my best to make some posts about, the 49ers newest draft picks, and all that good stuff. But I don't know if I'll be able to be back on live. So I got to head out of here. I got to drive over to the Milwaukee airport in about 30 minutes. But man, what a fun experience it's been. Being able to do this live from the NFL draft, being able to talk to a bunch of prospects, being able to be in this environment, super cool. Definitely checked off a bucket list item. So that was awesome. But we're going to get home, and then we're going to figure out who the 49ers' final 3 7th-round draft picks are. And we'll see. Maybe we'll get an offensive lineman somewhere in there. We'll have to find out. But appreciate everyone who's followed along these last couple days. And yeah, we'll see what happens in this final 7th-round draft for the San Francisco 49ers. But shout out to you guys. Smash that like button if you can for me on your way out. And we'll see what the 49ers do. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it.